Everybody. We're fashionably late. If you're going to be late, be fashionable about it. No one likes a slob. So we are fashionably late. And right as we go live, it starts with the jittery thing. So they're hip to us. We love them. We speak favor over them. And though they try to mess with us, we ain't giving them that type of power on us. We're just not doing it. So, welcome everybody. It is Thursday. And if you're a regular here, then you know that this is the day that has evolved naturally, where I'm joined by two of the most dynamic couple I know on the internet from Evolutionary Energy Arts, Mike and Cindy. How are y'all?
Hi.
We're good.
We're
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 good.
good. It's a little bit warm, but otherwise, we're going through it, going through it.
Mhm.
Apparently, it's warm all over the world, except for other places. I understand Greenland hasn't had a summer. They've actually had snow, snow, and snow. But yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty wild. You look at the wildfires in Spain and France and Italy
yeah,
and Greece, it's just been horrible.
getting their butts kicked.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like, geez. And I have a sense, don't know, but not making a prediction. But I got a sense that here in the United States, we may have one wild winter that we haven't seen in decades.
Yeah.
Because we got the super El Nino, right? It's like everybody's talking about it. Like,
Yeah.
okay, bring it
Yeah.
on.
They hyped it up big time. So
Big
obviously
time. Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff that's in the works for sure.
I mean, something's going to happen. I mean, because everybody's talking about, I heard once in 1,000 years El Nino. And I'm going,
Right.
really? So who was back 1,000 years ago
I
taking the
know.
temperature, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and did they
The-
use a rectum type thermometer or did they take it oral? I don't know.
I want details, man. I want
Exactly.
details. Yeah.
I want time, places. I want pictures. We can make this an Aunt Alice's restaurant massacre. We want the
Right.
24 8 by 10 color glossy pictures with a circle and arrow. You go. So let me
Yep.
just say
Yeah.
favor over all of us. I didn't forget, but yeah, we get it in there. And we like to speak nothing missing, nothing broken over our lives. And, you know, be kind to your mind. It helps because nobody else is going to do it out there. And love your soul. If you believe you got one, cherish it. So it's hot. What else is
Yeah.
happening there?
It feels like 109. I just peaked. So it says our feel like what humidity is 109. But our addition to the chicken coop is just about done. I just got to put a door on a second coop for the rambunctious roosters when they get too obnoxious chasing the hens around. We're gonna
Don't
have to
do
put them
that
over in the bachelor pad.
Mm-hmm.
with the 70-inch television, cold
Yeah,
beer, and what have you.
yeah,
Because we want to fit in with the locals. That's how it works.
yep,
Not saying
yeah.
that Louisiana is like that, but if there's one place that I have always found interesting is Louisiana.
The
Back in the
ghosts,
day, I
paranormal.
worked, yeah, it's different. Worked for a technical writing company, and so I landed the account Oceaneering, and they are down in what is it, Port Isle or something down there. That's really in the southern tip of the state. God, I mean, they do these ROV deep sea rovers and what have you. They're the ones who found the Titanic. But I drove from New Orleans down to this place, and you go through the swamps. I mean, literally, if you wanted to knock somebody off, you could put them out there literally in the swamp. So I checked into this Holiday Inn, right? And it's raining. I mean, raining. So I'm tired and I've got my bags and what have you. And I open the door and I literally see a water fountain coming out of the toilet. And
No.
seriously. So yeah, Yeah, strange place, Louisiana.
Yeah,
That's my story. There you go.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
yours.
Well,
Then I stayed at the Le Pere in New Orleans, and one of the most haunted fucking, excuse me, Cindy, freaking rooms I have ever been in before. I mean, that place had the spooks everywhere.
Yeah.
did you catch our live last night that we did?
On the
No, I
hitchhiker,
didn't.
Because yeah, we
hitchhikers,
were talking about entities that hitchhike.
the hitchhiker effect.
Which, well, yeah, the hitchhiker effect, because you might not get a ghost at your house, but you might go somewhere or be around somebody else, and something attaches onto you and then follows you home. Because this is something, I mean, it's happened to us more than one time. I mean, we worked on probably thousands of people energy wise, and sometimes entities will come knocking. I mean, they'll do all sorts of mischievous things, knock things down,
They'll
lights
even
on and
try
off.
to get the appointment canceled a lot
Yeah.
of times because they do not want to be removed from that person, their host. Their host is important. So we've
Mhm.
had them come over here and show intimidation and anger and even try to get people to cancel the appointment or just, oh, I'm not feeling well. Oh, this happened, that happened. Let's reschedule. No, 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 no. That's a classic sign that they are afraid to lose their feeding grounds. So,
I was in deliverance ministry, and John Higgy had probably one of the best series on that very aspect of these. Now, he had a different word for them, they were demons and devils, but the teaching itself, if you strip out the theology of it, is very sound.
mhm.
We're not here alone. Part of the title of this show is that, non-humans living amongst us. I mean, it's the Harvard study, and we'll get into that a little bit more. But so when they see folks like y'all, they can see that in the spirit realm. It's a danger sign.
It is because we know what works. We know the things. We know what to tell people to, assist in removing the attachment, how to keep it gone. They don't want people to know that. So they show themselves in various ways and they'll put, the thought forms in people's heads, don't do this. This is, something bad is going to happen. They'll just really torment people before they want. I mean, who wants to lose their feeding grounds? No one does. So you just have to look at them just like you would any other parasite or entity. It will eventually find a place to feed, but you don't want it to be you.
I think it's the problem with looking at things through the biblical lens that we get is that it takes all entities and makes them minions of Satan, so to speak, all devils and demons out to get you. But
Don't forget Lucifer.
yeah, and
Yeah.
Lucifer, but
I don't know who Lucifer is, but you can't forget her or him.
well, it's somebody bringing light, which is
Yeah.
information,
So wait a
so
minute, but light is then bad, right? If you got the light, yeah, I'm kind of
if
totally
if
confused.
you're to maintain your slaves, and yes, it is. But yeah, absolutely. What it is more like the world. We go out into the world and we see people that some are saints, some are like devils and monsters. You got mass murderers, and you have truly people that would be, like if Mother Teresa was really Mother Teresa. You know what I mean? Like real saints and
Hmm.
real sinners. You got the whole wide spectrum. And even with dogs, you might run up on a dog that might bite you right away. You might run up on a dog that's just going to lick and pet you. It's the same thing with all these entities out there. Some of them are nice, some of them are not. Some you have to be very, very on guard about, but they're very real. We're surrounded. We are outnumbered by, beings that you can't see. There's far more beings you can't see than you can.
It's that parasitic idea, the thought that, we're immersed in a parasitic reality. Everything in this planet feeds off of something.
Mhm.
And these bodies, um, it's like the study that if you have a mattress that's over 10 years old, you've got a couple of inches of dead skin cells that have saturated itself into the mattress, in which now you are their universe. I mean, it's a universe of microorganisms feeding off of that. And
Mhm.
Yeah,
yeah,
Well,
that's
okay.
the
I
way.
mean, it's like, okay,
yeah.
yeah.
life feeds off life, even in other dimensions.
Well, the way I see it is, yes, I mean something feeds off something else, but if you can find that symbiotic relationship, then that's okay. If something is feeding on something which brings benefit, that's one thing. Then then I think we're doing well. It's just when something is feeding off a host and making the host sick and it's like a dead end thing, that's where we run into problems.
That's true. There are fish that feed off of whales and things and actually are helpful and benevolent.
And
Mhm.
birds, will land on a cow or a horse and they'll eat the
A
bugs.
hippopotamus,
Yeah,
eat the ticks.
hippopotamus, sure. So there's good about feeding on stuff. There's some good there.
See, that's what I love about this realm. I don't know what others are like, but this one, yeah, it can be really a mind coitus
Mhm.
trip, but at other times I just sit back and awe and go, wow. I don't know who thought of this, but you gotta go,
Yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it?
what a mind. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, geez. But when you talk about that parasitic aspect, you know, even science, medical science will tell you that if you get a parasitic infection, it can affect your thinking.
Sure.
It can make you do things, and that gets back into that aspect. Well, then, how do we define consciousness? Is conscious this big thing, or is consciousness this very small? I killed a horsefly yesterday, and I thought to myself as I stomped on it, wiped its consciousness out of this realm, you know, that's what God does.
Yeah.
It's like there was a consciousness there. But that consciousness, if it landed on me, was going to bite me.
Yeah.
Right. And it just simply woke up in a new reality, might not even know that you stomped on it.
Yeah.
True, true.
Yeah.
It knew I hit the hell out of it when it hit the floor, but
Yeah.
it's like, what the heck? But seriously, it's that whole thing that we think that we're the top of the food chain. I don't know,
Oh my
the
gosh. Isn't
Wow.
that silly? I think that's what they like to teach us, to keep us so very limited, to keep us just in this realm and not understanding that there's so many other beings that are watching us from other realms. And the reason they do that is because I think on the higher end, humans are being studied. And in order to study us in our natural form, they can't let us know that we're being watched, because as soon as you know you're being watched, your behavior changes, doesn't it?
wow, that just opens up the whole thought then. Are we that unique? I mean, is the universe I mean, I would have to say if I've been tripping around the universe and I came up on planet Earth, I'd have to say, wow, those folks are wow. It's like there's no other place like that. Is that what it is? I mean, I think about why do spirits hang out here?
Mm-hmm.
Is it really that devoid out there? Is this the action?
No,
No, I think there's a lot more places. And it's interesting because we've had Cindy communicate either in trance or not fully under trance with other beings many, many times. Like here, there's a collective of indigenous beings that lived here that aren't here physically anymore, but they're still here on the astral. And we've even seen them in
on
our
her camera.
security cameras. We've seen like shadow people kind of come and go. And one of them I was communicating to a couple weeks back when Cindy was sound asleep. So it jumped into her and was communicating with me. And it just said, we don't want to come back to that realm now. It's too much of a mess. We'll wait, maybe come back in another 100, 200 years farther into the next cycle. Or as a collective, this was the part that fascinated me. As a collective, him and his tribe, they would go somewhere else, like even a different planet somewhere else.
Boy, that just gets me thinking, Michael, on the see, someone wrote me recently and says, "Well, how can you take such a position with demons? You just say you're not scared of them." And it's a very simple question. We had a group of Baptists come to our door. Haven't seen that in a long time. But it's like, well, what's the purpose of a God? What is the purpose of God? And then furthermore, what is the purpose of a demon, an angel? I mean, if they're in the same construct, then they're trapped. Because it would then say that there's no way of evolution of a spirit or a soul, that they're always trapped. And what happens if this particular construct collapses? Does it have a corresponding collapse into the ether?
Yeah, I've never thought about this construct in the greater matrix collapsing, but we do think the dark matrix is doing just that. It's collapsing and being shown for what it is. I think when you were saying, are we that unique? I think we are pretty unique in that we don't have a clue, and most beings understand what reality really is.
I don't have a clue of what reality is. I thought I did at one time, but
Yeah, no. The more you think you know, I think the less we really do know, So it's about keeping your cup somewhat empty so you're always available for more information. But the part of demons and angels, I think a lot of that is for our experience. And are humans that different or special? In many ways, yes, we are. I think the potential lies in us for so much, and we're being watched just for our potential. What do angels and demons come in for? Well, I believe angels come in and teach us compassion and understanding and just all around the light side of things. Demons come in and they teach us about fear and anxiety and how these two forces drive us forward, and they both have to work together. I always see it very much like a bicycle. You're riding a bicycle. It takes both sides to propel you forward, and maybe that's part of what they do.
I would say my evolution has changed on that point of view. Because again, I was deeply in this deliverance, the angels, demons. But the real honesty is if all my study, the only one that I find that brings fear, death, are the angels.
Mm.
There's nothing nice about them. Gabriel, they say if you saw Gabriel, you're dead. Gabriel, Michael have been sent out by Yahweh, Jehovah, whoever you want to call him, to slay hundreds of thousands and millions of human beings without discretion, mercy, or second thought. But I cannot find anywhere in any religion where it tells me that these demons have commanded humans to go out and kill one another, or the demons themselves. I have a question in here. Can spirits kill humans? I mean, do demons kill humans? I don't find any writing of that.
Well, I think those are very, very important things to look at, as far as your belief system, how your belief system is formed, what resonates with you. Those are very important points. And I've always said, demons get a pretty bad rap. I
They
think they
do.
have a purpose. I'm not
I've
saying I
dated a
like
few
them.
women that got a bad rap, and you go, but wait a minute, that's not that way there at all.
Yeah, so you're just better off sometimes. I think when you speak with people, don't use the word demon because it's really been put out there to be like the worst thing ever. Use spirit, say spirit. I'm dealing
Yeah,
with the spirit.
the words have changed totally, and that's the thing. The definition changes, which leads to confusion. I think we have a lot of demons that are responsible for killing people, but they jump into other people to do it,
I
and
wonder if they're angels, though. I mean, if there's this war in this dualism, right? Angels against demons, they're fighting, and somehow or another, we got invited to the party and never realized that we had the invitation. And it's like, well, does this war, is it perpetual? I mean, does it go on for eternity? Is there no winner or loser? It's rather bizarre, isn't it?
well, I think again, can we jump back in at any time? Can you like restart your life at 35, 42, 26, any number? And come back in. I think we don't understand things that a lot of beings do. When you start talking about time travelers and Mandela effect, I do think, like Bigfoot. Bigfoot is a being that can change density. We could see him, he could leave a footprint, and then all of a sudden he meditates or uses some sort of technology and he's not there anymore physically, but he was there. It might have weighed 1,000 pounds and left a deep footprint, but then he just stops. I mean, I was sharing, like, I saw footprints in the snow leading to a tree in North Carolina, and then they just stopped. So he either went up in the tree, which wasn't very big, or went into a different dimension. So I think, and I've witnessed myself a tall gray do that. It just meditated. I woke up, saw it over me, and it looked away from me. It focused, and then it just turned into an energy pattern and was gone. So I think we've been kept in the dark with our religious beliefs that put so much fear in us to get us not to question, just to think you're going to be eternally damned if you tick off the priests or any of the clergy or what have you. If you tick off God in any way, that's so much fear that's put into us that we don't question enough things that just don't make sense in the dogma.
No, I'm totally with you on that. It's like, you were talking about Bigfoot. Well, you know, Star Trek gave us the Klingons, that they're
Right.
highly advanced, intelligent, but very violent.
Mhm.
And that is their nature. And um, if you're a fan of uh, Skinwalker Ranch, Brian Fugel's property out there, it's very obvious that there are portals that exist. The Hebrews, in many of their prayers, their psalms are in fact been shown to open portals.
Mhm.
Uh, Moses, said that when he went out there with Ebenezer into the wilderness, Moses brought the secrets from Pharaoh's court and how to open this portal that brought this God in. And that's when Moses saw the showbread, the heavenly utensils. And so you're right, we've been taught wrongly. Religion puts it in a nice little neat box, never realizing what it's saying is that, folks, they're everywhere, these
Right.
portals.
Mhm.
It's
And
like
think
Swiss
about that.
cheese.
Moses's staff turning into a serpent, eating the others. It's magic. And then if you look at it from a magical perspective, the question is it white or is it black? Well, some of it brought widespread death and destruction. So I wouldn't call that white magic. So
Yeah,
in
what
other,
Gabriel did was, to kill every firstborn. I mean, as the story goes, the narrative.
right,
How do you worship that?
Mhm.
I mean, how we I had this discussion recently on the whole abortion. I got blacklisted from this conservative site because I brought up the fact that it was Yahweh that Joshua and Caleb had inherited worshiping that commanded them to go into the Mennonites and to basically cut the fetuses out of the women's womb and
yeah,
then smash the fetus against their head against a rock. I said, how is that not abortion?
Right.
You're
Yeah.
going to tell me that Satan is behind abortion? I can't find any record of that.
Mhm. Mhm.
no, we also played one in one of the videos recently where a guy was saying, well, the Bible tells you who wrote it. It's by Paul. It's right there.
Isn't that cute? Isn't that cute?
Is that the Paul
Bible.
that they made the movie after?
Right. Well,
Sorry.
you think
I
about
see
it.
him smoking a joint, giving, dictating the Gospel of John. Now, what
Written
you?
by
Well,
Paul.
you look at King Solomon too. I mean, why does he have all this info on summoning up these demons?
Yeah, what's that
You know,
about?
obviously, this is the dark side. The dark side is saying it's light, but it's the dark side. And people that are too fearful to question end up serving the darkness without having a clue that's actually what they're doing.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think everybody does because there's a lot of people that will give you their shirt, their cloak, their tunic, their sandals, everything, without expecting anything back. I think there are saints that they might be following the Catholic Church, but they're not corrupt and they mean well. You find this in all the traditions, but they don't understand the fullness of what's behind the dogma and the means to control people. And certainly, yeah, if you look at that Old Testament entity, that is just a dark, dark, malevolent thing.
Like with Ghostbusters, it's a real nasty one. And it gets back into
Yes.
this whole issue of, are humans the only ones who get under these spells and the non-humans by the Harvard study. In fact, if you will allow me to show you that I came across this interesting website that, let me pull this up. There we are. So this Harvard study and their hypothesis says that, and this is exploreweb.com, and I have the actual book. So they're saying that we humanids, um, there have been some here much older, much longer than we are. And in fact, they kind of put us in, as you seeing this picture depicting here, we're kind of like, in this huge planet, so to speak, and we're all evolving. And it goes on to say it's the crypto-terrestrial hypothesis. And they say that these humans are exempt from, for instance, to being persuaded by religion. They're not easily swayed by philosophy. They seem to be very well set in what they believe in, and they typically are the ones that rise to power. And the thesis goes, and just to show you that if you want this, I have it here, that they're highly, highly intelligent, way intelligent more than we are. I don't know. What do y'all think on that? And I'll just briefly show for everyone. This is the actual Harvard study. It's the crypto-terrestrial hypothesis, a case for scientific openness on a concealed earthly explanation for unidentified anomalous phenomenon.
That sounds really interesting. And yeah, I mean, I think that it is kind of like that. There's lots of clues that, we are all, for the most part, I would say, I would venture to say, like, the vast majority of people that are watching us now are what you would call starseed light workers. So you've had incarnations, you have a connection to your higher self, and you don't buy into the dogmas because they just never feel right. But the reality is beings wait to incarnate sometimes very long times for the right circumstances. I do think, it's like opportunistic. Think about how we are a sperm, really. Each one of us is a sperm. The head of the sperm becomes our skull, and the tail becomes our spine. So think about that competition, hundreds or thousands of sperm trying to get in the egg. But now we know that the egg senses one sperm to open up to it. It's not that the sperm is the strongest. It's not survival of the fittest. It's like something behind the egg's consciousness opens up for that one sperm that it wants to, copulate with and create a new form of life. Thoughts?
Well, I think
Agreed.
when when our filters change, when our perception is widened, when we can simply tolerate not only different belief systems, but, I mean, we can barely, let's see, what am I trying to say here? We have a really hard time accepting different belief systems, let alone a whole different realm of beings. But I think when we get really good at acceptance, then we will be opened to all of these other beings. I think they are kept out of sight for a very important purpose. And I think eventually we're all going to join them, but it's going to be a shift in perception. It's not going to be, oh, suddenly they're here, I see them with my two eyes. It's going to be a quick shift in perception, and we're all going to be together. That's what I feel, because now we have acceptance of other beings.
Yeah, I can see they're messing with this on this.
They sure
They
are,
want
aren't
this to
they?
be talked about. It's like, wow.
They don't
Yeah,
like
it's like they get real nervous. It's like,
they
well, we're going to show it anyway,
they,
Yeah.
they
So,
absolutely hate these big truths coming through. These big truths like this, they hate it. you know,
So if I
conjecture.
ever come up missing, here is possibly a reason why, because if you dig deeper into this study, you find out that this kind of connects to why suddenly the people of all humans have always turned up missing. It's probably one of the best known secrets that are out there. Um, and in the United States, it's estimated 3 to 5 million people a year disappear, just simply vanish. One of the thoughts is that they target people such as our group. There's the mindset that we're more of a danger to their plan than anything else. And so typically they will find reason or excuses to have people suddenly not here anymore.
Or an accident.
Accident, yeah.
It's like there's this chess game going on behind the scenes that you can't see, and they're literally also trying to nudge other people's playing pieces off the board, like, you know, by knocking out certain people, like with what happened in Auschwitz and all that.
Hmm.
I think I don't think it was what we were told. I think that the group they were after was it was a DNA that could be problematic and, you know, cause their you know, goals to be jeopardized. So, you know, like the more awake people, the people that, you know, are more likely to have activated light bodies, pineal glands functioning, things like that, could pose a problem. So if they could take them all off the board as quickly as possible, and war gives you good cover for that. And, you know, by the way, they're expanding the war right now. So again, that would be dangerous. The
The
expand
Nazis were looking for something, though,
Oh,
Michael. Grandma Rose, and her and her sister survived 3 different camps. They were liberated out of Treblinka, but um, I'm convinced that they were so deep into the occult, and I believe that they had made contact with a foreign entity, an extraterrestrial species, however you want to. They were looking for something, and they
yep,
were either collecting or again, and that's not the story history is going to talk about. They're going to talk about the atrocities of war crimes, but these were smart men and women.
right.
They were looking for something.
And again, we took them in, and the Russians took in the
They
Operation
didn't we
Paperclip.
though? Yeah, yeah.
So I think really the Nazis were used by these, what you would call ET, or even interdimensional, extraterrestrial, ultra-terrestrial is a good term, covers everything. They were pawns for an agenda that wasn't really their own. It was made to align with their agenda. And this is what they do all the time. You know, they'll promise things to the earthly leaders to go along with them, and secret societies promote them. It's, you know, again, we know corporations are probably more powerful than countries in some ways. And then again, certain families very powerful
I think
as well.
corporations are countries.
They will be. I
The
think that,
United States is just a matter of a group of our government.
yeah.
It's not even in the United States. And then the District of Columbia, it's a corporation.
See, I think this goes back to this planet is contested. There are different groups that lay claim to it.
I could see that. That's not talked about, by the way.
Yeah, it's still contested. And so each side is trying to take out the other side to a degree.
Yeah, and that's it's a very interesting because there's obviously seems to be competing agendas. And there's no doubt of that. And however or whatever is in play here, um, it seems like we're seeing it's not new. This is actually kind of the first fruits, second or third generation fruits of what was started a long time ago. And again, I contend that the Nazis were looking for something. I recently read that in Romania they were rounding up gypsies primarily, but they were seeking out people who had second sight abilities.
Yeah, think about that when you said gypsies. You go get your fortune told from a gypsy. These are people, yeah, again, they have more activated pineal glands, they have gifts. This is what they want to
Of
eliminate.
which we did here ourselves. Operation Paperclip was part of where MK Ultra came from.
Right.
We picked up on what the Nazis were doing.
Right. And that's why we've been in power since, because we have the strongest backing by the stronger group.
I think you're absolutely right. It's just who is the group? I mean, that's the $1 trillion question now, right?
Well, I mean, I think what you have is it's the devil, which is to me is the reptilians that are under our feet. And then God is the Anunnaki, the Nibiruans. It's the Enlil and Enkis and
But
this.
they're reptilian in nature as well.
They also have reptilian aspects to them too.
Yeah.
Yeah. The ones that are under our feet, if you see them, they actually look a lot like Devil with his pitchfork. I mean, and bright red. I've unfortunately seen one, and it was terrifying.
Traumatizing.
I started swinging in the air because I came out of meditation singing it, seeing it. And yeah, it's like just in full fight mode. Yeah. It was the most startling entity I've ever seen.
Interesting. Interesting. Did you fear it, or was it just because of the grotesqueness of its look or its shape?
And its intent, because it was angry at me. Yeah, I was remote viewing the island of that guy, that E guy, so I was basically trying to find out who he reported to, and so I was envisioning that block that he has there of white and blue and putting myself into it, and then this guy popped up.
It's a question I have as a philosopher and as a theologian as well, is that why are they angry at us? I mean, we seem to piss everybody off in the universe, whether
Well,
it's this God, devil. I mean, they all seem to be like it's our fault.
because we killed their pets. Our ancestors, the ones that made us being here like humans, as opposed to the reptilian lizard side, they're the ones that exterminated the dinosaurs in order to, do that. So that's my take and my opinion.
Hmm.
I think that the dinosaur extermination was kind of an act of war to cleanse the planet so that they could have mammalian beings come on the planet and be the dominant force.
I think we are a necessary evil with karmic repercussion for them. So someone created us, and now in order for them to walk clean with their karma, they have to care for us to a certain extent. They have to tolerate us, let us live, let us give us the best chance possible, because they did create and bring us into this world, our bodies anyway, our bodies. So I feel that there's a karmic repercussion going on, and they were kind of like the yucky stepchild. Like they would rather not deal with us, but in order for them to process and proceed in the universe, they have to at least allow us to grow and become whatever we are going to grow and become. Now, that doesn't mean that they're not there at every turn trying to trip us up and make us fail. That's what it feels like. It's like they're deliberately trying to make us fail by putting things like pornography in front of us, that drains our life force, and alcohol, cigarettes, the drug addiction, all of these things. Yet all of those things that are in front of us is still our choice if we want to.
But all of those things are thousands and thousands of years old. When they have excavated the Roman road from Rome to Jerusalem, they found pornography. They didn't find pictures of Jesus. They didn't find pictures of a Messiah. No, what they were showing was the TNA.
Yeah.
And you can go all the way back to Sumerian aspect, the human, the female form. I mean,
I think there's a way to respectfully appreciate the female form, and then there's a way to
well,
make
don't go
it
show
different.
Renaissance art because YouTube will put a strike on you.
I know, you got a strike, Wayne. See, you did it, Wayne.
Well,
You
Well,
ruined it for
then they
everybody.
changed it to a warning. Then I
I
had to
know.
take this sexual awareness course. It's like, okay, sure.
Insane.
You were talking
Insane.
about how ancient it is. Well, because I think that's all one system from ancient Sumeria to being, again, the Roman Empire to the British Empire to us. It's kind of all one system. I think that when that system really cleared the way so that they could take over here, that was the Younger Dryas extinction event. So that's 12,800 to 1100, 11,600 years ago. That's when I think they basically, now that wasn't the extinction of the dinosaurs. I think that happened earlier, but maybe not as many millions as what they say, like 60 something million years ago. But the Younger Dryas extinction event I see as a big act of war, but there's been others. We have evidence of many mass extinctions. So, we've had nothing but
But it always comes
turmoil.
back. I mean, if
Yeah.
you study particularly the belief systems in the Mesopotamian period that with Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, in fact, Jacob specifically, so they would have the Sherapoles or the temples, and these temples were manned by temple prostitutes, both male and female. In fact, Jake had left his staff there with the one woman. So my point is that I think sometimes we see this. It gets back to that point. Are we the only ones here? Now, I've told people this. I recount a time in my latter teenage years of I was in the midst of deep coitus with a certain person, and she during that point was not in a human form. Now, I was taking it for the fact that, well, maybe, we had too much partying going on. But in fact, as I look back at it now, my point to all this is maybe it's much more complicated than what we talk about these esoteric topics when in fact there's this undercurrent that there's a system that's been running here. It's been running here a very long time. We're just on the escalator passing through.
One of the
Yeah.
first people I interviewed way back in like 2017, I think, was somebody that was on a camping trip with her husband, but they had two tents. They were arguing, and so they had put up two tents because they were having a hard time. And then she thought her husband came over to her tent to make up, and they did the coitus thing. But during the coitus, she saw it turn into like Hellboy, look like just like a Hellboy. And
I
and
see
she
that.
said she was terrified and revulsed, like, but at the same time she couldn't help it. And it finished. Now, how did that happen? And she ended up having kids because of that.
I did
And
a video on this.
did you? And
Hmm.
these kids are destined for politics. They've been handpicked for politics. So, I mean, it's kind of
I could
like,
take this back to Lilith. They collect the seed, and the seed and the egg. But it again. I can understand this woman. I'm not, I don't doubt it at all because of my personal experience. And I'm sure that there's folks listening to this. Let us know your experience. Have you been, with what would appear to be human, but in a moment of intensity, because it's transferable. I
right.
teach sex magic. I mean, it's the most creative aspect. But anyway, yeah,
So Bigfoot, is also known sometimes to kidnap, human women. Uh,
stories of many cultures of that.
yeah, so it gets into the whole Nephilim thing, and it's like to think of fallen angels copulating. How could that be? Um, but at the same time, if a being could change its vibration, maybe it doesn't have to really possess somebody to do that.
David says in the chat room, we all are hybrids. Yes, in 2005, I made a lot of money off that. When we broke the human genome, we knew then that, wait a minute, there are no humans here. Whoever they were, they're not here anymore. We are a hybridization
Right.
of factors of DNA that we're not even sure where it comes from, much less what it is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things in this world. It's like there's this background noise. There's a program running in the background, and we don't necessarily get to be too privy to it unless we really truly plug in, unless you want to be privy to it. And then we still don't have all the answers, but they have a plethora of ways to get humans to just completely drain their creative force, their life force, so it just goes down the drain into oblivion, and you're not using it to actually create, like you said, sex magic, using it to create, to manifest, to build something beautiful. So they know our weaknesses of the flesh, and I think they kind of drag us around by that because it's a program running in the background. We're just not aware of it. So
Well, even the Immaculate Conception can be easily perceived from a different point of view of an alien abduction.
Absolutely.
That, you know, how did this human female, who was apparently, they estimate at the age of 12 thereabouts, how did her ovaries somehow receive semen that produced a hybrid human who later exhibited supernatural powers? The same story you just told, Cindy. It's just in a different
yeah,
reference and point of view.
yeah.
So the savior that, you know, three-quarters of the world in the Abrahamic religions believe, the same thing with Muhammad, is that these are hybrid humans that in essence are true demigods from extraterrestrial, interterrestrial, I don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting too, because in some of the some traditions, looking at the Hindu stories, some people
Yes. Thank you for bringing
literally
that
take,
up.
yeah, they take Krishna as coming from a different world, so to speak, and going back to another world. And Rama, some traditions say Rama was an inner earth person, came to the surface to kind of help us because we're a mess. You know?
It's the Three Stooges and the Keystone Cops.
Yeah, I remember those.
Wise guy, huh?
Like them.
My grandparents banned my brother and I from watching the Three Stooges because we emulated it. I still have a dent in my head where my brother took a paint can emulating Moe and hit me over the head with this paint can, knocked my ass out, and put a dent in there. But yeah, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
But
Yeah,
it's true.
it really is a very, very complicated web. I mean, if we'll probably never, well, I hope we'll get that full disclosure where we understand everything. But, disclosure that there's non-humans living amongst us and that there's interdimensional beings, that's just really the beginning. I mean, there's so much more to it.
Mm.
And the competing agendas that we witness. I mean, why do we have these blocks fighting with each other constantly? Why do they have their symbolism? Some of dragons, some countries of eagles, or phoenixes.
Yeah, it's good. By the way, I just saw in the comment, remember, Jesus had brothers and sisters. Read the
Yes,
Gospel of John, you know.
absolutely.
So she was not a virgin. Well, you know, whether she was a virgin in the beginning, but she knew of a man. Anyway, so
Yeah.
digress.
I guess the point was that he was special, birth
He was
special.
never a carpenter, by the way. He was a stonemason,
Oh,
if you believe the story, because wood didn't exist in fucking Jerusalem at the turn of the century. You had to go all the way up to Lebanon. So it was primarily a stonemason who understood the use of wood. But anyway, I digress. I hate it when reality interrupts with my fantasy.
I know,
the
but it's tough.
details, the details.
It's
Minor
always the
details.
details. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah. David was talking about the Orion Wars. Absolutely. That's still going on. And really,
yeah,
when we're doing a Patreon exclusive channeling that Cindy got. But when we talk about like the Lionsgate portal and stuff, then we're starting to talk about our history there and the different beings, the Lyrans, going into the Draco and Lyran wars. You could go into why are the three main pyramids aligned with the stars of Orion. I mean, there's so much obvious info there, again, left for us to figure things out for ourselves, for those that will actually take the time to look into things like yourself.
Mm. And we are really in the minority. I mean,
Yeah, we are.
That's the unfortunate part.
well, that's why our channels don't grow. They're not
Yeah.
fun. You know,
Right.
they're fun for me and others that seek knowledge, but we get into the deep stuff and people don't want that. You know, my life is already hard enough. I don't need to be thinking about what you folks, I don't care, is what one person wrote me. I don't care. You know, I went, fine, you know, have it your way.
Mhm.
Okay, I want to take a second out here to bring something up because I know time travel in this show goes like that. So we've been talking about particularly what y'all do when you have clients coming in doing, the energy work, the cleansing. This group has for some time, and Trina, I hope you're listening as well, because we have an opportunity to come together as a collective, as a group, at a resort that is in the country. It has a beautiful lake. It actually has a 9-hole golf. It has 2 conference centers. It has the ability for, I think, 50 to maybe 100 RVs with hookups. They have on-site apartments. I think that several hundred units. Anyway, it's large enough for a gathering. Um, I'm asking it, first of all, I need to know from people who are listening to this, and please respond in the comment section. Let me know that if such a gathering was a happen, would you come? And what we're thinking about is like from a Thursday to a Saturday, we will have workshops. People like Mike and Cindy will hopefully be here. So during the day, there will be the breakout sessions. At night, we'll come together in the main conference center with featured guests and interaction. It's still, if you happen to have a natural talent, experience, and ability in putting together venues like that, please get in touch with me, steigerrwayne@gmail.com. We could use the help. I want to thank Greg with the Cortez show. Greg brought this forward, and we were talking yesterday, and this literally just came out of nowhere, and suddenly you know how it is, Mike and Cindy, when the dots just suddenly begin to connect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have seen he has taken a number of drone videos. It is beautiful, folks. This is a place where you can bring your children. And if we do this right, it is an opportunity for those of you who live in the States. You can travel here. If you're looking at internationally, we will be able to have accommodations that you wouldn't have to worry about having an RV. We could still work out some of the details. And if you are a person who would like to participate in this, either as putting on a workshop, even potentially coming in, it's just so early. So if you get involved now, you will actually be on the ground floor of what I think will be an interesting event for 2027. We're looking, and I don't know if it's feasible, but I do believe in the miraculous. Maybe like at the spring equinox. It's a beautiful time here in Missouri. It's still not quite winter, but it's not quite full spring. And so it would be basically 3 days of getting together, fellowship, learning, and there we go. So let me know. And thank you, Mike and Cindy, for allowing me to put that in there and for you
Oh,
showing this on your channel as well, because we could use the
Mhm.
help. We can
Yeah.
actually do this, folks, now. We've been talking about this for 5 freaking years. And out of the blue, this facility, and it is beautiful. It is just, it has everything that you would need for both an adventure, but yet still have the modern amenities right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very exciting.
Very
Yeah.
exciting. Sounds
I
wonderful.
think it is too. I have no idea what we'll call it, but
No, yeah, don't know.
uh,
Yeah.
so what I'm actually looking for is that if you have the time and are particularly good at organization, I'd like to form a committee, a small group. And this small group, we will work with Greg and the owners of the facility and begin to put this thing together, or what it could look like. And I think it could be something, Mike and Cindy, I think there's nothing like it today. It would be, I think, the opposite of Burning Man. I
Right.
mean, we're
Yeah.
I'm just saying, nothing wrong with Burning Man. I think that I personally hate the desert, but I would, but there's all these 100,000. But this would be an opportunity, I think, for an intimacy, whether it's a couple hundred of us or who knows. I mean, I need to know by what this reaction would be, if you would actually be willing, number one, to come. And then, of course, something like this does require a lot of organization. And if you are blessed with those skills and work skill sets, we could use it. Good place for you to have good karma too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's south of St. Louis, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it again, it is a beautiful, beautiful property. I have seen it, and it is just I could see a lot of healing. I could see miraculous things taking place, because when miraculous people come together as a group, miraculous things are always the result.
Would be amazing. We've seen some pretty interesting stuff when people come together, and especially it happens in the quantum, but especially in the 3D, it can be rather interesting to send and receive just information, from the ether, switch out guides and angels and demons, whatever. They're all, we're all coming together, and there's going to be an energy exchange in some way, shape, or form. And it can be life changing in a very uplifting way.
Yeah.
I haven't read in the chat room what is being onto there, but hopefully let me know.
Thanks,
And
Jen.
Thanks, Jen.
what's that?
Oh, we see Jen.
Our
Jen
friend
and the bird
Jen and
said
the
that
bird.
we could stay with her.
Yeah, we need a dog sitter anyway, Jen.
Yeah, and I mean, it like I said, it is if you have an RV, it's just a beautiful place. And quite frankly, I think this is something that I think we all could use. I think it could be a real time of refreshing, of coming together.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So,
it would be big. I mean, it feels like it could be a huge transformative event.
yeah, that's what I think. And I think the universe is just responding back to, there's this collective idea that has been floating, and so we have it within our power to make it happen.
Mhm.
Yep.
Awesome. That's wonderful.
Very exciting.
Very
Yeah, I
exciting.
mean, as I shared with you earlier, I've actually had visions of something like this starting, and it feels I've seen us talking to small groups like that at a time period where we're past the wars and all the craziness, and it feels that things have settled down into a better norm. So I hope this is an event that might lead to a much better timeline for us all.
Yeah, and as you were talking, I mean, what a great opportunity for philosophers, theologians. I mean, people from all different walks of life with so many different gifts of modalities of the craft. It could be just a fabulous time. I just really see it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and what a great time to come together and even make an intention and possibly shift a timeline into a more positive one when we're together.
Yeah, yeah. As I'm thinking about it, I think it'd be kind of cool to like having, this real big campfire. I think that would, you know, I love campfires, and if you got a lot of people that enjoying that's a magical moment that can happen across the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Sounds fun, Wayne.
Well, if you want to be
So,
involved, I'm just throwing it out there because it will have, it's an opportunity, it's there, and we can make it happen or we can ignore it. So it's kind of one of the two things. And sometimes, it takes a bit of work. And if you're looking for something to put your energy towards, this is it. Yeah.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
it'd be about 8 hours for us, so it's doable.
It's doable
Yeah.
one day.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And like I said, um, this could be fun. This could be really, and it's kind of nice if you're driving and all of a sudden you have a place ready for you.
yeah,
Yeah,
very, very.
it actually has clean sheets and, you know, the whole bit. It's not bad. And of course,
So
if you just want to go, nature on this thing, then that's cool too. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Well,
Wow.
yeah,
so I know I interrupted in everything, but you know, this is a great opportunity. I see so often we always complain that we never get to interact one-on-one.
Right, right.
I mean, I'd love to see you two. I'd love to be
We
able to come
love,
in and,
yes.
sit down and, have a chat or maybe have a group chat. It's the opportunity to put face to face and energy to energy.
yeah.
It's kind of important, I feel. Sometimes if we're able to pull it together, it's one of those things that was already predestined and meant to be. And, there's other things that can happen with our energies coming together in a very positive way. I see nothing but positivity coming out of
Mhm.
it.
Yeah, and if you're if you have a band or play an instrument, let me know as well because I think music will have a huge impact. It's really, I see a 3 days of where, the Woodstock had their thing here, but I see this as 3 days of just this community really coming together and bonding in a manner that no matter what happens afterwards, that bond will be there. Maybe this would be an annual thing. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that either.
Yeah. Sounds
That's
great.
very exciting. Sounds great.
Sounds
Mhm.
wonderful, Wayne.
So there's my 2 cents worth.
Yeah, and maybe you'll pick up some good hitchhikers, to
Well,
take.
if there are bad ones, then there have to be good ones, right?
There's got to be good. Yes,
You know,
great.
Lynn and I, we have this thing that we do because we really enjoy blessing, um, when we go out to eat with servers and we do a thing. We've been doing this for as long as we've been married. And one person said, "You two are the angels of light that come into this place and help change lives." And my point is that if they're hitchhikers of a negative kind, I think there's hitchhikers of a good kind. They're going, "Oh yeah, that is mine right there." And I think they protect you as well. I really do.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
they do. They
Yep.
do.
We're never alone.
Mm-mm.
No, no, I know. I don't know if it's ancestors because I really don't know my family.
Yeah.
I came into it's just the way it is. I don't have a problem with it. But yet, as two things I know, this is not my real name, and I'm a part of something that I may not have a memory of, but I'm still part of it.
Yeah, you are. And I don't know, when I see things like this come together, it tells me there's other things going on in the background that we're not aware of. So, like when they start lining up, there's other good angels or demons or something else is involved besides just us.
As you were talking, Cindy, I got this mental impression. Can you imagine a group coming together to channel?
Oh my
A
gosh.
group channeling. Wow.
Wow.
You'd
Yeah.
have to have cameras running on that
We've
because I don't know what
we've
would come
done
up.
that. We've done that a little bit once. It was very
How
profound,
was that?
powerful. You could feel the electricity in the hand,
Yeah, I bet you
you know?
could.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And, we could also do healing group, anybody that needs healing.
Hmm.
See, those are the type of workshops I'm talking about. And we have the conference and there's two of them. And so these, and then there's plenty of opportunity to do outside, but that's exactly what I'm seeing. I'd sign up for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody needs a good soul shower, you know?
Yeah.
You know,
It'd be great. It would
you
be
got to
great.
use the loofah, you know, to really get down.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so what's everyone in the chat room having to say? I haven't paid much attention. It goes by pretty quick.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems positive. Seems like
Seems
people
very
are
positive. Yeah.
looking forward to it. They love the idea. So that would be awesome. And yeah, I look forward to it. It'd be a blast. I think it could grow from there, like you said, and maybe even pull in other like-minded channels at some point in time.
Love to. I mean, this is an opportunity to come together. You know, what does it say? It takes a community. Yeah.
Yes. And that's the next step. I really think that's going to be the next step when things disintegrate a little bit more and things get even a little bit more challenging. It's going to be us helping each other, through it.
As you were talking, I mean, the opportunity, and of course, as this material, and I do believe it will, I could see people who teach survival technique, cooking, learning how to can. I mean, there's just so many different things that y'all are so good at. You have, you know, these talents and these abilities that, you know, don't be shy. This is an opportunity to share knowledge. And if you're sharing knowledge, particularly where survival is concerned, there's nothing wrong with that. You're born into this world to survive all the way until the day you walk out. But you know, it doesn't hurt. I'd like to know more about gardening. You know, I think of Gaia, you and Paul out there that, you know, this is what it is. And what a great opportunity for memorabilia. Boy, this would be something,
Yes.
wouldn't
Yeah.
it?
Yes.
I'd buy some of that swag. I mean, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad this, and we didn't even get to get into the other part of it, of the phenomenon. In fact, the reason why I put this on as a kicker, because it was actually said yesterday that there are more reports worldwide of people reporting seeing ghosts.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a dimensional merge, which is very, very real. And yeah, that's one thing that Cindy had channeled.
They're
We're
like collapsing.
they're collapsing down on each other. So in some ways, not everybody, not everywhere is truly ascending at the same speed. So we're kind of catching up to our myths and legends, and they're going to
Oh,
be real again, like they were in the days gone by.
well, isn't it? It's written that man and the gods walked hand in hand, you know,
Yep.
side by side. Is that,
Yeah.
do you think that that's what's happening? Because it kind of shocked me. I wrote the note and I said, Lynn, did you hear that? And we played it back. And that's what, so worldwide, there is this phenomenon that people are reporting seeing dead relatives, seeing ghosts or spirits that they have no idea who or what. So
So,
worldwide.
yeah.
It's way more common.
People we've noticed are really kind of going through a little bit of a rough patch with the energies as of late. And I do think it has a lot to do with the upcoming August 12th eclipse. And that's where we have the opportunity to break lifetimes of bad patterning. We can break that pattern. So in order to break patterns, sometimes things have to come up so you can see them. So you can say, hey, I didn't even know I was doing this subconsciously. Let's not do that anymore. So, but that can be painful. That can be very painful. But if you're ready for it, then you're ready for that, and you're ready to move on and free yourself from the the negative patterning that's been holding you back, that's been blocking you.
I
It's
love
not
it.
it's not easy too. I mean, we have to self-realize who we really are, and what we really need to do in order to grow. And that's just something that not everybody's comfortable with. You know,
True.
how many times do you find people that really could quit smoking and that's it, quit drinking, that's it, bad negative habits, things like that. Most have a hard time with that and keep coming back to it. But we're being asked at this time, if we really do want to become the best version of ourselves, we really have to let go of a lot.
See, that's what we're going to be done. And Nina, I am serious about this. We could make first of all, it's just brainstorming at this point. But the thing about it is, I look at this as an entrepreneur. My specialty was coming in and doing turnarounds. And so as a CEO, that's the responsibility I had to reorganize companies. But my point is, rarely do you have an opportunity where you have a place that is perfectly the way it's already established, it's set up. And now it's just a matter is, do the humans really want to make it happen? Because if we want to make it happen, we can create this. We don't even have, we've already done the spot. Now it's this logistics. So this is my 2 cents. So
Yeah.
yes, we are serious.
Yes.
Again, I don't even know what to call this. I mean, it would be a great opportunity to get the community, and I personally see in my spirit several hundred, if not more, people coming out for this.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't have a name. I'm waiting for people in
yeah.
the
If you
chat
come
to
up with
start
one,
spitting them
let me
out.
know. Yeah.
Yep, yep.
I
I
like this idea of channeling, though. I mean, see, being in the room with you, Cindy, and with Mike there, and pulling others that have that. Wow, I mean, we could actually have this conference center with a conference with the ethereal realm, the next dimension. Could you see it?
We could, and I remember that one time when we did channel with another couple, the electricity in the hands was just so profound. You can feel the energy in the room. I don't go into trance often, but when I do, there's this tangible change in the electric field in the room that can really shift the energy to a very high degree, and
Absolutely.
people, you got to kind of be ready, you need that nervous system. That's why I don't do it a lot anymore, but I can definitely do it. It's just you have to be very healthy and ready for something like that, well hydrated. There's some things, there's preparation to it, to hold up the integrity, to hold up the integrity and bring in the highest vibration possible. You just want to
See, this is why
prepare the
we would
body.
do the workshops. You
Yes,
could
good
sign
idea.
up for knowing this. I mean, it's teaching, it's learning, it's putting into action. I
Mhm.
like the aspect of, particularly coming together with many different modalities. I mean, what a group we have here,
Yeah,
We
yeah.
have practicing witches, we have practicing wizards, I mean, priest, priestess, I mean, shaman, what is the female
I don't know if there's a female shaman. I don't
the,
know.
well,
Never,
anyway,
never
but you
thought
know
about
what I'm saying.
it. Yeah.
And some are vegetarian, some are not. I mean, I could see us having, an outside barbecue. And that's what I'm also saying. There's availability for food because, you could actually have a dinner each
Mhm.
night. I mean, it's all there.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very fun. It's going to be
I mean,
exciting.
where else I mean, we could sit here for the next, well, we've done it already, but to try to manifest something like this and boom, there it is. So I appreciate you two.
Thank you, Wayne.
Oh, we
We
always appreciate
appreciate you
you
too.
too.
We love our Wednesday. It's
Yep.
Well,
great.
I look at it as a Mike and Cindy day, but this is just because there's always so much going on when we come together.
Yeah.
And wow. Nina says, do a poll for the name of the thing. I'd love to do that. And I'm not, folks, I can't do this on my own. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not going to do it on my own. This is an opportunity where more hands make the load easier to carry. And you folks are amazing. You've got talents and ability. You're adults. You've gone through your whole life. So this is an opportunity for you to really do something. So step up, put the big boy pants on, and come on in.
Yeah, there's a lot of names popping up out there in the chat for it. Back to the Garden, Soul Trippers Collective, Heart Evolution, all rising together. If you build it, they will come.
Soul
Okay.
shifters. I like soul shifters.
Soul
That's fun.
Shifters, that's
Soul
cool.
Soul shifter. That's pretty good.
That's
I
kind of
like that
catchy.
one.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, I'll have to that see, folks. This is what we're talking about. I mean, this is an opportunity for you to make claim to something that could be potentially historic. Don't think that small gatherings aren't historic.
Right.
There was a group of about 100 dudes, 250 years together that came 2 years ago that came together and, passing the moonshine around, and they came up for the revolution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I like that the soul shifters, that
Oh, Wayne's
is
excellent shindig. I love Wayne's excellent shindig.
Wayne's World, Wayne's Excellent Shindig.
Wayne's Day, Wayne's,
Nope,
yeah.
Milky Way Soul Family Reunion.
There's a lot
let's
of
make this happen, because I tell you, I would love to be with this group. And like I said, in we'll all be anticipating and somewhat hesitant when we first meet, but we'll all be crying when we all disperse.
yes.
That's how it'll happen.
It's gonna be beautiful, Wayne.
Yeah. People will have relationships that will be deeper and go, and maybe our ancestors from the ethereal realms were saying, yeah, come on, you guys can do it. We're doing our part. We brought you the damn place,
Hmm.
So,
Absolutely.
all right, you two, you all know where to find them. Evolutionary Energy Arts. I always copy exactly what the YouTube does to do that, but it's
Yep.
amazing what happens when you put it in.
Isn't it? Isn't it? It's just
like-
one of those.
There's those
That's
little
what those
demons.
little
Those little
demons.
Yeah.
They do that to keep people,
Like,
they're like, oh,
why?
no, we don't
on our
want
toes. Keep us on our
anybody. Yeah,
toes.
we don't want
If I had
anybody.
Barack Obama's YouTube channel, I don't know if he has one, but I bet you it would work regardless.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh gosh.
Yep.
No, you can't do anything to bring people up. Can't do that, man.
I know.
Well, we love all of y'all. Mike, Cindy, love you two both, and
Right.
we'll meet
Too.
next Thursday. When is the 12th, by the way? That's interesting. So there's an eclipse
Oh, what
that day,
day
right?
is that? Good
Let me look real
question.
quick. So the
Close.
12th. Oh, how interesting. It's a Wednesday. By the way, Trina
wow.
would love to have y'all come on. And yes, I'll come on y'all's channel if you want to do an
Awesome.
interview.
Let's do it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's a Wednesday, apparently. How interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, start getting ready for the eclipse. Drink your water. I mean, it's very profound. We have a huge opportunity to change our family lineage's luck. If there's a problem with your family line, and most there are, we have a chance to break that pattern now. So
Mine took the fun out of dysfunctional.
yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's all right to be dysfunctional. It's like, but you're supposed to have fun with it,
At least.
At
Yeah.
least, yeah. If it's going to be that way. Lost in Space, Rick, Diane, all of y'all, Paul, Joe, Regina, we just love all of you. Thank you again. Let us know, because if we're going to make this happen, we need to start really getting the roles, and a lot of work ahead. So if you really want to do it, roll up the sleeves. As I was told as a kid, this is going to require a lot of elbow grease, but it's all right. You'll build up your, there you go.
Yeah.
You see, lifting weights helps.
Good.
All right. Love you too. Love
Love-
everybody. We'll see
Thank
y'all
you.
tomorrow. Make sure to tune in over there, Mike and Cindy, daily anyway. You should be subscribed to them, and make sure you get alerts on their shows, and you'll at least be informed and more knowledgeable.
Thank you,
There you
Wayne.
go. All right, everybody. Much love. Peace to us all.